Well, thank you, Andy. And good morning, friends of the Classic, and so many more people watching us online. I'm delighted to be with you, and we are going to read from Matthew chapter 5, the Beatitudes. Blessed are the poor in spirit, for theirs is the kingdom of heaven. Blessed are those who mourn, for they will be comforted. Blessed are the meek, for they will inherit the earth. Blessed are those who hunger and thirst for righteousness, for they will be filled. Blessed are the merciful, for they will be shown mercy. Blessed are the pure in heart, for they will see God. Blessed are the peacemakers, for they will be called children of God. Blessed are those who are persecuted because of righteousness, for theirs is the kingdom of heaven. This is the word of the Lord. Thanks be to God. Well, this morning, friends, I'm really excited to be with you. We are going to look specifically at the verse, "Blessed are the merciful, for they will be shown mercy." And I decided to take a bold decision this morning to start with a little joke, which is going to be really awkward because I'm not going to be able to hear you laughing. So please do when watching on the screen. So, among all the people on earth, who are the most merciful? And I'm going to give you a few seconds to use your gray cells. I know it's early this morning, but you can do it, or ask your family members. Among all people on earth, who are the most merciful? I'm going to give you the answer, because you need the answer to be able to laugh. Among all people, I claim that the Brits are the most merciful people, because whenever they go to France or they meet a Frenchman like me, they go, "Oh, mercy, mercy." Now, I actually created and invented this joke, so all credits come to me, please, if you use this joke. But I thought it would be a good way to get us going into this theme of mercy. So the verse that we are looking at is pretty straightforward, and there's no need to look too much into the syntax and the way the words are put together into this sentence. What we need to do in the short time that we have this morning, that I have this morning to share with you, is to look at the word mercy. Blessed are the merciful. So what actually does it mean to be merciful? And to do so, I am going to basically unpack this word, and hopefully we'll get to a closer understanding of the term. So first of all, if you look at the word mercy, you will see that it's usually very connected and very close to the word grace. But theologians would say there is actually a difference between the two words. When grace is, as you all know, this kind of universal and for all people, this is God's love given to all of us, to the whole world, and that you could use in a more practical way by using the word compassion. Mercy is used in the Bible for specific acts that the people did, and that there need to be some sort of redemption for specific actions. So it's usually linked to wrongdoings or just situations where there's need to be a healing process. And a more practical term to use when talking about mercy is charity. So you've got grace and compassion on one side, and mercy and charity on the other. Now, of course, this is a simplified way to look at it, and I could spend hours talking about these four concepts themselves. So, now that we have kind of the framework of our concept of mercy, we need to ask ourselves, what does it mean to be merciful? What does it mean to enact charity in the world? Now, of course, it starts with being merciful to others. And I think it's easy to say that, and it's actually a lot more difficult to put mercy into practice. There are a few reasons. I think the first one, at least a personal reason, I would say, that I'm sharing with you is that I think we need to relearn to experience mercy, because most of the time we've been kind of used to see injustice and wrongdoings and situations where people are doing wrong in the world. And we kind of grew used to it, if you will. Now, I moved to a very big city when I was 10. I moved to the capital of France, Paris. And I still remember when I first moved to Paris being shocked by the number of homeless people that were on the street. And I still remember asking my mom, Mom, who are all these people and why are they all on the street? And my mom telling me these are homeless people, and unfortunately, you will see many of them in Paris. And it's true. And I think I grew used to it. I think over the years, the sad reality is that the injustice that I felt when I first moved to Paris, over the years, it became almost natural. Homeless people were kind of part of the background. I hate to say that, but I think that's the process that happened into my soul. And so we need to relearn to be angry at all the wrongdoings and the injustice and all the things that go wrong in our world. And that's not easy, especially when we are in situations of privilege, when we tend to dismiss those situations. So in order to experience charity, we need to relearn to be angry at situations of injustice. And I would say this is part of a general process of getting out of our comfort zone. Now, of course, and this is the second point, to be merciful, is also to find specific ways where we can help in society. And there are just so many different places where you can be involved to help and to experience charity in a very practical way. I know that here in our community in Godalming, we have so many different ways that we are trying to show love to people, and maybe to old people, to young adults, to youth, to homeless, to mental health issues. There are just so many ways that you and I can get involved if we decide to do so. And this is showing mercy to others. This is being merciful. Now, something that we don't really talk about when we tend to look at this verse and look at blessed are the merciful, we say, well, it's to be merciful to others. But what about being merciful to ourselves? And see, this is the idea that in order to really, really be able to help the others, we also need to help ourselves. In order to love others, we need to love ourselves. So how can we experience mercy for ourselves? And we are living in difficult times. There's no need to hide it, and there's no need to lie about it. We are all, I'm pretty convinced, we all here are experiencing some sort of difficulties. May they be financial, material, spiritual, emotional, mental. There are just so many ways right now that we are struggling. And I think we need to acknowledge that and to be merciful with ourselves. To be kind and gentle to ourselves in these difficult times. And of course, the end of the verse refers to our relationship with God. You know, I've looked at this sort of horizontal level, being merciful to others and to ourselves. And now you can see how beautifully this verse combines this horizontal mercy to a vertical one, which is our relationship with God. And the fact that God, it says in the verse, will show mercy to us. Now, I just want to make sure that we don't, when we read the verse, sometimes we can be, we can feel like, well, we have to be merciful so that God will be merciful to ourselves. There's some sort of consequence in the verse, which I just want to make sure on a theological level, we know that this is not true. It's not because we do good in the world that God will be merciful to ourselves. God is merciful no matter what. And when we face difficult times, God is with us, and God will show his amazing mercy. So the timing is not something to look at in this verse. What is important is the relationship, right? The link that there is between God's mercy and our ability to be good and to do mercy in the world right now. Think of it as the verse that says that we are able to love because God loved us first. I think this is more the way to look at it here. So as Christians, we're not saying we are doing charitable work because we believe God will then give us his mercy. We're saying, no, we recognize that God gives us his amazing mercy every day. And therefore, we need to recognize that. And this is why we do good in the world, because we're able to look up and say, Lord, you are a merciful God. Therefore, we can also experience mercy. I hope it all makes sense, right? This aspect of horizontal mercy and also vertical mercy, and how we can really express this idea of being merciful in tangible and concrete ways. So I hope this very short explanation of the verse was helpful for you and for your specific situation behind the screen. And I think at this time of the morning, it would be really adequate to close this sermon to say mercy.